the Master Builders of Iowa presents the 2013 Masters Award in the category of over $10 million. And the finalists are Neumann Brothers, World Food Prize Hall of Laureates.
The building is just the manifestation of really what's behind the World Food Prize. And the commitment that the Ruan family has made to this community and this state.
We faced multiple challenges. Working through biggest challenge obviously in which going into it, but the building is over 100 years old, so you're going to run into things in the building. What we found was, the building, as we started laying everything out, the building was 9 inches out of square, 2.5 inches from the northeast corner of the building to the southwest corner of the building on the same floors.
We were excavating the east steps, the foundation for that, along with the gray water tank that's buried underneath the east steps. We were doing that in 2010. And if you remember what the weather was like in 2010, the river level was about 6 inches below the arch of the bridge, and we were about 21 foot below that with our excavation. There was an old abandoned brick sewer storm running right through our excavation, and at one time I suppose that emptied into the river. Well, the river was emptying into our excavation.
Well, there were several big challenges. Number one, we had to reorient the building back in another direction. Historically, it faced the river, but over time, it had been turned around so that the front door was in the west. So we had to come up with a design that would integrate the garden, the restoration of the building. We had to rebuild the staircase.
And the team began, the architects and design team and the contractors, Neumann Brothers, we began looking for the proper stone so we could reconstruct that grand staircase on the east side of the building.
The quarry that the building was originally quarried from is no longer open. I think it's like a state park, right? And the architects found the exact same stone that was quarried, and actually the building is built out of from a fella up in Minnesota that tears down bridges, and it was an old railroad trestle. And the stone was a dead ringer match. So we were able to purchase that and incorporate it into the east steps. So actually the building has the same stone, 100 years later, that we put the east steps back together with. I think that was pretty cool.
Besides the state capitol, there's really no other building in and around this area that has these same features. It was important because you see a lot of the historical finishes, the things that were done in the late 19th century that were made by hand. And we're coming in and recreating those elements, using some of the same techniques, using some new techniques to kind of recreate some of the old stuff, and just coming in and doing scag work and gold stenciling and recreating plaster moldings. And
the high dollar finishes in the building, most people when you walk through here, you see the pizzazz, you see all the beauty, but you don't realize that everything was stencil work. If it looks like gold, it is. Things like that, the art sculptures that were installed, the historic carpet that was put in, the outstanding finishes, the floor.
Breslin and his staff did just a sensational job, and it's such a pleasure to work with them.
And the 2013 Masters Award winner is Neumann Brothers, World Food Prize Hall of Laureates.